Hi guys, Victoria here for Beyond Paper by Victoria. Welcome. Anyone that's not new to my channel, I am Victoria and I am part of the Tonic Studios design team here in the UK. Today I have a brand new launch for you, and it is a Mahusif A4 set, and it's called the Seashell and Starfish gift boxes. So as you can see here, an array of dies. I've put mine on a magnetic sheet so that you can see exactly what I have here. This obviously here makes a shell-shaped gift box, and this a star-shaped gift box, and they also make gift bags as well. Now I don't have them all made to show you, but I do have some that I have created beforehand. So this one here is a shell gift box, and you can see it's highly decorated, that beautiful inner there. And then not only do we have the gift box, we have the seashell, so that is a decorative box as well, and you have this dimensional star on the top. And I have another one of those made here in blue, because obviously these kind of seashell star gift boxes, they can be made in blues, in creams, in, well, you just look up, there's loads of colours that these actually come in. So I've done a blue one here, and you can see from the inside we have this top section here to keep it all in shape, and then that is your lid there as well. So today we're going to be making a shell gift bag. Now I'm going to run through just a few of these dies with you. So here you can see you have the handle. You'll need to cut out that, I think, around about 8 times, 6 or 8 times, depending on how thick you want the handle to be, but it's personal choice. This outer layer is going to be for the lid of your shell box, and then you have this smaller layer which will be your base, and then you have this layer here which is a layer on top of your box, and also if you wanted to use pattern papers, and it will also cut out this detail pattern here, which then you can go in and paper piece if you wish. You would use this die and the second size down to make one of these to go underneath your glue tabs all the way around, and one to go on top. So if you're familiar with some of our boxes that have been made in this way before, that's how they are made. To make the gift bag, you just be making 2 halves the same size, and then you have this joining piece here as a hinge. You have the handle, and then you have this little die here that will form your clasp at the top, and you would place a magnet under here, and that would be your closure then, or a sticky dot if you've got a sticky Velcro dot. Now for the starfish box, obviously your lid is narrower, so you have these dies here, the smaller narrower dies. Now the groovy thing about this box for the star, it's been very well, everything's always well designed by Tonic, but when you cut these dies out here, it actually gives you a point of reference on where you're going to line up your die. So you'll need to cut 5 of these out for your base, okay? And you'll need to cut 5 of these out for your lid. And they more or less go together the same way, although the base has a double top and bottom. All will be, well, I'm not going to be making this one, but for you to do this, you'd be cutting out your base die, which is going to be your second die down, and you'd cut this die out, and can you see this would then line up with this, and then this die folds over the top, so you've got a top and a bottom. So there's no messing about with points trying to line them up. It's such a clever design. Now obviously if you're going to be making the star gift bag, you have extra decoration there in the centre. Now to do the points for the actual dimensional star, you would need to cut 5 of these, and you can see here you've got a glue tab, and they fold round and add dimension, and then they go together with this little section here, so you can see that section there in the middle, and then you can finish it off with a lovely little star. And you've got various different decorative pieces here for that section, so you can cut into it or you can add a layer on top. It's perfectly up to you. Okay, so that's that. And then obviously you've got your decorative layers here. Now you can have them with a smaller piece in the middle with a gap there. I wanted to join it so it was more of a longer section, but that's personal choice again. Okay, so this section here I haven't actually used yet, but this is to create your star gift bag, and you will use this die in conjunction with this one here. But as yet I haven't had time to get round to that one. But that's not to say that I won't, and I won't come back and address it at another time. So that being said, you've got a little sentiment in there as well. Time to celebrate, a little banner there. That is your die set. So I'm going to put this to one side, and we're going to be making this shell bag. So let's move that out of the way. So as you can see, I've done 1/2 already. So we have started with 2 of these. Now this is optional. I have added an extra one only because I was changing my mind with colour choices. But you'll need 2 of the next size down, I think it is. It's not the largest, it's the next size down, that's right. So it's the second one down in size. You'll need 2 of those, and then you will need to cut 2 of these like I showed you before. Okay, we also need to cut 2 of this longer section with the glue tabs. Then we need to cut 4 of the next size, and then we need to cut 2 of another size when Vicky finds out which is which, and then we need to cut 3 of the smallest size. You can see there it's smaller, so you know 2 of that one and 3 of the smaller ones. Now in the instructions it does tell you to cut to start, I should say, sorry, cut. I'll show you on this one. This will be easier, won't it, than bringing this one in. It tells you to start here at number 1, and I would start there because you'll have a slight overlap when you come to the bottom here. Now there's lots of guiding marks on some of these dies, so look out for those. It will make life easier when you're putting it together. But we're actually going to add one of these. We're going to get some red liner on the situation, so I've not done that yet. So let's do that now. Now I do use wet adhesive as a rule, but on this one I am going to be using red liner tape, because you're going to need that for an instant grab, and then you can go ahead and you can add wet adhesive on top, which will then give it, as I always say, that longevity, because you don't want things to fall apart, and tape will dry out over a period of time, and these are like real keepsakes. So you know, if you were giving one of these to, let's just say, your aunt or your grandmother or just a dear friend, and you know they want to keep it in like a little display unit or something, or have it on show, because I gifted, do you remember we had the owl, the Professor Owl? I gifted one and it's gone to a new home, and it actually sits on show with her other owls, which I think is so lovely. So you don't want things to fall apart because the tape's dried out. Once the central heating goes on in a house and it's warm, then that will happen. So always add a little bit of wet adhesive if you can. So you can see there now, it doesn't matter how scruffy that looks, to be fair. We just need to get the red liner down. And I'm going to pick that off now, and I'm going to stick this to one side for when we need it. Okay, so that's that done. So as I've just said, wet adhesive will be our best friend. So I'm going to start by putting the glue tab to the top edge. So we will be gluing and holding, so if you want to fast forward me, that's absolutely fine. I tend to do things in real time. So we're going to put this edge to this corner here, and it's very important to get everything as close and as neat as you can, because this will affect your overall finish. Okay, so it's not difficult, it's just being a little bit precise and just waiting until things have dried. So I'm going to bend this now, and then where you see that tab, it will go neatly into that join. And make sure you try and bring everything in as neat as you can, and then press down with either a bone folder or your own finger, and then just wait until you know you can go to your next section. It's quite important that you do let it dry. It will help as you're going round. So our next section then is this next section, where you need to cut 4 of these, because we need 2 for this bottom section as well. And as you'll see, I've bent all tabs back. Okay, now you can go ahead and you can shape this if you want to ahead of time to help. So what I tend to do now is I add the adhesive to this tab. Okay, and then I hook that onto that section on the straight join, and just concentrate on that drying before you do this bottom section. And as long as you're all lined up on your joins, it should all line up perfectly. Now at the end, when we do add that top layer that we've just put red liner tape on, you're going to manipulate the box quite a bit with your fingers to get it all in the right places. Okay, so now I'm just going to add adhesive to this bottom tabs. Okay, and then like before, I'm going to use the desk for support. I'm going to bring that round, and that join will tuck straight into that little crevice, I want to call it. Okay, and again, just keep pressing until you know you can move on to your next section. And this is just a rinse and repeat till we get to the end. Okay, and then we go again. So the next section is a little bit smaller. It's not the smallest, or is it the smallest? Well, we might be onto the smallest one. Let me just look at the, so I want that one there. I want 2 of the largest ones there. And let's look for those 3 smaller ones, because they're here somewhere. So they're the 3 smallest, which are going on top. So we want one of those, don't we? I think that is it. And that one goes there, doesn't it? That's it. Okay. We're cooking. Right. So we're going to go for these 3 smaller sections, because your 3 smallest squares are going to go at the top here. And then you're going to go with the next size up here, which will be be one of these, I think. I should have marked them with a cross, shouldn't I? And they all look the same size to me, but I don't think they are. Is that slightly bigger? Let's have a look. That's the same size as well. Oh, Victoria. Is that the same size? Oh, we might have to cut one out. Maybe Vicky didn't cut them all right. Forgive me, guys. I'm having a malfunction on whether I've cut all the right sizes here. So they're all the same. So they're definitely for the top. That's definitely for the bottom. And that one is definitely for there. So I think that one's for there. I think that's it. I think we've got it. There we go. Eventually, Victoria, eventually. Right, put that one there. Then I know where I'm at. Right, there we go. Would be a Vicky video, would it? Unless something went a bit pear-shaped. Right. Oh, dear me. It's a good job we can laugh, isn't it? Right, so we start off with the best of intentions, guys, but it always goes a little bit pear-shaped somewhere. So, like I said before, we're going to hook that one onto there. I don't want to get to this point and then put the wrong size on, because that would just confuse you even more. So maybe put a little light pencil mark on them, and then you'll know which ones are going where. Unless you've got a very good brain, unlike mine, which is a bit foggy at times these days. Oh, dear, dear. Right. And then hold that till you know it's grabbed, and then we're just going to do the same again. So we're just going to add glue to the undersides there, and then bring that one into that groove, and we've not let that dry enough. So this is why I say just wait until it has dried. Got glue tabs everywhere. There we go. I mean, like I always say in these tutorials, you will have more time. You'll take your time. You're not against a video going over time. Right. So let's press that down. I also want to thank you all. I did a little survey just recently on the Tonic group about what you are looking for in a tutorial, and I found it extremely helpful. So I just want to say thank you. Craft habits change. We change our styles. We change what we like. Sometimes we'll go from 3D, we'll go to cards, we'll go to stamping, we'll try all different things as crafters. And it's important as me, as a creator doing what I do on my channel, to know what you guys like. So sometimes, you know, I will put a little post out there, you know, wanting to know what you guys are into these days, you know. So I appreciate all feedback, good or bad. We just don't like negativity with the thumbs down emojis, which, you know, it does happen from time to time. Not often, thankfully. I'm very lucky that way. But, you know, we do have people that just like to do that for fun. And that's fine. Let them have their day and their kick kind of thing. But it won't stop us creating what we love to do. So, it, you know, but I do like to hear feedback. I do like to know what you guys like. Very important to move with the times. There we go. So we bring that next one in, and we'll add this third small one, and then we'll be on our way. Now I've not gone with the decorative layer that comes with this set. I've kind of turned it into a little boutique type of shell bag. I was thinking of actually searching out some older dies that you've probably got in your stash, guys, to be fair, because you're tonicaholics. And I was thinking of digging out the old, do you remember the old lipsticks and those dies? And I was thinking another little lipstick in a mirror on the front of this bag would just finish it off beautifully. So later on I'm going to go and search them out, because I have retired them. The amount of dies that I have in my craft room, I have to retire dies after a certain time, and they go in a special little place where, you know, they won't become damaged or anything because they're an investment. But you know, we can only show you relevant dies up to a certain point. You know, we can go back so far. but we have to keep it kind of relevant. And yeah, I just thought those dies would look so cool on this bag. Or the little high heel shoes, you could have them just perched on the side. You know, I think it just looked lovely. I think this kind of bag would look lovely in a presentation box as well. And I'm sure we'll see plenty of those on the Tonic group when you guys get your sets. Because I know you all love handbags. And from the Kensington handbag years ago, when you all turned them into Chanel bags. And oh, it's just lovely to see. And great to see them in presentation boxes. Right, so we're going for that next size up now. So I'm just going to shape that a little, and then we're going to add that as we've done with all the others, till we go all the way round. And it looks all wonky now to shape at the moment, but it will all come into shape once we start adding bits to hold bits together. Yeah, we've had some wonderful dies that would accompany this set. And if you've got any little tiny decorative shells as well, you could really, if you did one in like rustic tones with like a teal or an ocean, and then added some shell, some proper real life little shells, I think it'd look absolutely stunning. I also think that this die set in particular, the shell one, would work great for your pockets in your memory books. If you had this on a corner and cut that corner off, it'd be great for holding photographs and things. So that would also be really, really useful. So now we've got to this larger layer. So again, glue on this glue tab, and then bring that one in. All the girls have been really, really busy recently getting ready for Cyber Week. So we've had lots and lots and lots of things that we're playing with and working with, and it's been jam-packed. Lots and lots of goodies and exciting things coming your way. Right, so let's press that down there. Just not holding at the bottom. There we go. And then let's get some glue on those tabs. Now you could have added red liner to the underside of here and had a quick grab and added a little bit of glue, and that's also fine. It's whatever you prefer to work. I just prefer just the wet adhesive for me on projects like this, because it does give me that little bit of wiggle room as well to get it exactly where I want it to be. But red liner's fine as well. Just because we all work differently doesn't mean there's a right way or a wrong way. It's whatever way works best for you. Right, so now we've got these last couple of tabs to add. So again, just going to shape it slightly, bend that one back, and again, hook that one on. And then wait a little bit longer. I always say fast forward through this bit, it's just a rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. There we go. And again, add some glue. And I am using deluxe adhesive. Unfortunately it is out of stock at the moment, but it is on the waters, so it is on the way, guys. I know you're all getting a bit desperate for your glue. I think with the glue press coming, I think the glue's taken off even more than it was, and it is an absolutely fantastic glue. If you wonder why mine's there and it's no label on it, they get grubby after a while, so I don't like that being on a video, so I just take the label off. And then we've got this last one now. So I'm going to put adhesive on this tab, and I'm going to hook that in to this side, like so, and just let that hold. And then I'm going to add the adhesive on those tabs and on this tab. Okay. Bring that one round and then stick that down. Now the reason it tells you to start at number 1 on this side is because when you come to this bottom section you have a slight overhang. So you can see there you've not got that gap. They're tucked together. That's fine. That's how it should be. It does say that in the instructions. I'll just hold those a little bit longer. Okay. So as you can see now, you're starting to get that shape. Okay. So this is where this one comes in that we've put the tape on. And I don't start here actually. I start here where we started 1, 2 and so on till you get to 9. And where you'll see you have this crease join, you want to put that crease join to the piece with the tape in. So I'm just going to squeeze that and add that, she says. I'm going this way, ignore that. So you can see where my crease is there. Let's pull these up so I'm not sticking before I need to stick. Okay. Now we go. Crease to the crease. So we want to go underneath and we want to squeeze that join in there. See that? And then press those tabs on the tape. And you want to do this all the way round. So bring that in. And you want it to be as tight as it can be. So see where we've got another crease coming up. So push your finger into the crease and then press down with the tape. Okay, and this is why red liner is invaluable for this. The top layer we can put red adhesive, we can put wet glue. Okay, so we've got another crease. So again, push your finger into the crease and press the glue tabs down. And this will make sure you get a neater finish, a closer finish. And it's not hard, guys. It really isn't. You just have to have a little bit of patience. And once you've made one, well, you'll be away with the fairies. And then we go round and again, press that and pinch it. Okay. I know it's a repetitive and again push that in and push the tabs to bring that down, and we've got another crease coming up, so we want to bring that in and push it in, and then these will push in then against this bottom section. And I know you're thinking, oh, look at that, but you're not going to see that when you're finished. Okay, so you can see you've gone into your creases and brought it in. Now at this point, if there are any that you're not entirely happy with and you want to bring them in, then you can. Okay, you just go round, repinching where you need to until you're happy with where that is. And then you have this top section that will cover all of that up. So what you want to do is look out for your curves on the inner side to match them where they need to be. So wet adhesive. Now you could have added more tape if you wanted to, again, personal choice. So I'm just gonna bring that in. It's very repetitive, that part, but it is important that you know where to pinch it the best. So when I'm lining this up, I'm actually marrying it up to the inner curves, like so. And then bring that down. And then go round, pinching until you're happy with where everything is. Okay. Now I'm just going to lift this bottom section up a little bit. I don't want that to dry yet. So just keep going round and around and around until you're happy with where they all are. And then, as you can see on this half, we've added a hinge. And I want that hinge to go underneath that bottom piece so that we haven't got any untidiness showing. Okay, so that's why I say don't press this bottom section down. I am going to add some more adhesive to that so that once we've put that hinge in, we can. And then I want to slide this in and slide that in, and then that can go underneath that section, and then I'm going to pinch. Okay, so just have a bit of patience with this section because you want it to dry before you try and maneuver it. Okay, so just keep pressing and holding, pressing and holding, and I'm just going to press there at the back until I know I can let go, and it will take a little while to dry, but as long as you're all, you know, in uniform there, and then we can go ahead and decorate the rest of the bag. I'm just going to be adding some black sections to here. I wanted this just to be black and white in a very chic boutique way, but of course you could have some ribbon and some bows. You could add, like I said, a little lipstick here to the front, which I do intend to do. I will have to go and root them out. It was only an afterthought, and I thought, oh, that looked quite bougie. So just give that time, guys, because obviously we don't want it to pull apart the minute that we open it. So I'm going to be very careful, and I'm going to cut another black one because I decided I wanted a black face. So we've gone ahead with that. And then we've gone for that smaller layer there, and I've just cut little slithers of card. And I've just glued those about 1/2 inch apart, thereabouts. And I've added some black foam pads so we don't see those foam pads underneath. And they're all available on the website. And if they're not, they will all be back in stock very soon, because obviously there is, as you know, a shipment on the way. All our half plates that we're waiting for, glue, etc., magnetic sheets. Right, so press that down. I'm going to glue this onto the front. There we go. And before I do, yeah, that's right. Just check we're not going wonky donkey there. So bring that one in. And down there. Bring that down. There we go. Got a little layer there that's not quite stuck down. There we go. Let's pinch it. Right. So I'm hoping now that that will be glued enough that we can move on and decorate. Now I could have done the side pieces beforehand, but hey ho, you know. So I have 2 of these little clasps, and I've just cut them again and just cut the circular part out. As you know, if I'd cut all of that in mirror, it would have taken some time to glue. So I've used the base with the ballerina pink, which is what we've used here in the Craft Perfect, which is 216 and is great for this box because of the curves that you're having to form. Okay, so I just want to make sure that that is the right way round. Okay, so I need to cover the back part and cover that magnet up, because we don't want to see, oops, we don't want to see the magnet. There we go. So just hold that and pinch that till you know you can let go. Now if you've got little Velcro dots, I think they would probably work as well. They'd be a little bit more thicker and slightly more clumsier, I think, maybe, but they would work. Okay, so let's check that that is the right way around, which it is. So it means I'm going to have to glue it to here, right on the curve, and I'm just going to pinch that from underneath. I am going to close it just to check that that will grab, and we're lined up, and we are. Okay, oh, so much so it doesn't want to stick. There we go. Let's stick that back on and just hold it in place for a second. And then we'll let that dry and we'll add the side pieces. So these side pieces I have just cut in black cardstock, nothing special, just a 240 smooth black cardstock, and we're just going to add those sections onto the box. So I'm going to put that one there. She says. Now you could do this before you put the clasps and everything on, personal choice. Doesn't matter whether you do it now or before. You will have to hold them though. So we go in with another one and just manipulate the card with your fingers just to curve it. Don't need any special tool or anything like that. And again, I'm going to add this one and then just arch it between 2 fingers and hold it until it's dry. That's the thing with the deluxe adhesive, it doesn't take long to dry. It just gives you that little bit of wiggle room until you've got it where you want it to be. So we'll add this 3rd panel at the top. So we've gone all the way round. I mean, you could actually add these panels before you actually glued the whole thing together if you wanted to. Just make it a little bit more rigid when you're curving the cardstock to the shape of the bag. So that's why I tend to add them afterwards. But you could definitely do this before you join the 2 halves together. So we've got those. So now we want to add the rest of these sections then. So I'm going to go in and curve this section. I'm looking at all the pieces I've cut out. I've not cut enough out, so I'll have to cut some more. There we go. And you will need to see, that's how it's lifting. It's because I need to hold it longer. So I'm just going to add a little bit more glue in there and hold that a little bit longer. This is where you need a couple of pairs of hands. So I'm just going to curve that a little bit. Add some adhesive to the back of that. And then hold and glue at the same time. There we go. I'll glue these panels to 1/2. I'll show you how the handle goes together, because it is a rinse and repeat, guys. It's not a difficult one. It is literally just gluing and holding, gluing and holding. That's all. I don't think Tonic could do difficult if they tried, could they really? They really do help us all out. Alright, so let's hold that down. Alright, let's clear this one. I love these colours together. Ballerina pink, black and white. This is the beauty of these 3D boxes. You can really play around with your colours. Like I always say, I try and go with a 3 colourway or a 5 colourway. I think if you tend to use 2 colours, it looks quite flat and it needs that 3rd colour to lift it. So we tend to work in 3s and 5s, and that seems to work a treat. I need a little bit more glue under there. But as you can see, it's not difficult, it's just holding things, that's all. And if you get any excess glue anywhere, like I've got some just there, you can either wipe it away or it will dry clear, so don't worry about that. It's just time consuming holding things for a video. Okay. Go on to these next 2 sections. I'll show you how I did the handle. Okay. And what I'll do is at the end of the video, I'll put a finished picture of the other side completed with the tabs. And when I go and find that little lipstick dye, because I'm hell-bent on trying to go and find that, I think it'll finish it off just beautifully. You know, we're all the same. When you've got something in mind, you've just got to do it, haven't you? You just have to do it. So I'm going to add this one now. And round we go. I think this would also look lovely using your Nuvo drops for your pearls as well. So add some nice decorative pearls around the edge. Let them dry on a sheet of low tack. So like when you've had a sticky note and you've kept the back, just keep that and then put your drops on there, let them dry overnight and then glue them onto your project so you know where you're going to be placing them. Right, so I've got one more section there. I'll add the other sections later because, as you can see, they take a little while to dry, don't they? I think with this video you can just put me on fast forward because you're not going to miss anything. There we go. Apologies, my tummy is rumbling, it's tea time. Right, just hold that in place. So I'm going to put that to one side with something sat on top of it whilst we put the handle together. So, like I said to you, I've cut many of these out. Now the way I've done mine might not be the way you want to do yours, but I'm going to overlap by 2 and then put 2 together. Okay, and then I'm going to repeat that again, overlap 2 and that kind of was a long enough handle for me, but you might want a longer handle, a shorter handle. This is why it's in sections, so it's up to you what you want to do. And then I'm going to back this with another layer. So just line that up. There we go. I think my glue's taking a little longer to dry today as the weather has changed. There's a cold nip in the air now, and things in the cold weather take slightly longer. Where in the summer things dry that quick, you're adding more glue because it dried so fast, you know. But autumn is definitely here. All the leaves are falling outside. We have great big trees opposite our house, and yeah, they've left a bit of a mess everywhere as all the leaves have dropped. But it's a lovely time of the year. I love autumn and winter. I'm a winter girl. Although the older I get, I'm not so sure. I do question myself because I do like the warm weather on my bones. Right. So you're building quite a sturdy handle here now. Okay. Now, just because I can, I'm going to add another layer just to make that handle a little bit more rigid. But this is personal choice. You might not actually want this as a handle. you might prefer to put your own handle on, and that's cool as well. But these videos are just a guide, just to help you know where things go, and obviously everything else is up to your imagination, what colours you like, what are your favourite colours, what are your favourite colours of your customers, the people that purchase from you, because I know many of you do craft fairs here and there. You know, what kind of colours sell the best. If I had an opportunity, I think everything I'd make would be red, because you guys know I love red. Such a warm, inviting colour. But I do have to stay away from the red these days. Vicky, step away from the red, Vicky. Right, so that's what we've done there for the handle. So let's bring that bag back in play. And as you can see from the other side, we've glued it on the third one in. So I'm going to do exactly the same on the opposite side here. I'm going to come in by 3 and I'm going to glue it down there, okay? Just on that bit there. So I'm going to add, I'm not going to add glue there, I'm going to add glue to the third one, aren't I? Yeah. So the third one in, and I'm going to bring that to there, that to there, and that's where they're going to go. So you can hold it from underneath just to add a little bit of pressure for it to stick. You might want to put your handle higher up, and then obviously you could glue it on the second one in. That's up to you. But you can also line the inside of the box if you wanted to add black inside there to match the outside. Obviously I will, after the video, I will add black layers to this side so it's matching. And I'm going to add a little lipstick here, but I will add a picture of the final finish. Have I gone too far in there? Maybe I have. Maybe I could have brought that one up a little bit. Has it dried? Can we do it? We can and we will. We can and we will. So I'm going to bring that up a little bit. You won't see that from the inside. I think we're going to go about there. Hey, Vicky. There we go. So we're going to go there. That's it. So we've got matching handles. So it holds together then with the magnet. You've got your little handles there, and it's up to you whatever decoration you want to add on after that. Just be sure to hold your hinge and let that dry before you start really playing with it. But like I said, I will put a picture at the end of the video so you can see the finished sample. And I'd just like to say thank you ever so much for joining me today. It's always a pleasure to have your company. It's always a pleasure for you to come and say hello and tell me where you're from and what kind of crafts that you like to do. And if you're not following, please consider clicking the subscribe button. It's completely free, no charge whatsoever to watch my content, but it does help my channel grow and get out there so more people can see it. And as always, housework, if this die set floats your boat, is on your wish list, I do have affiliated links in the description, and if you click that link, there's no extra charge, but I do make a small commission from that sale, and it just helps support my channel and bring content to you. So I just want to say thank you ever so much, and I'll see you all soon, and happy crafting. Take care, guys.